Hi, my name is Jason Perkins, and this is my revision for my mock interview. I was told that I only had to do questions 1, 2, and 5. 1, 2, and 5. Apparently, I got 3 and 4 correct. So I'm going to be going over the 1, 2, and 5 using the STAR method. Question number 1. Describe a time when you worked well on a team. I was stationed in Iraq back in 2004 and 2005 with Mountain Infantry Unit out of Manchester, New Hampshire. And one night, actually, we were tasked with escorting the South Korean army from a couple hours south of Baghdad at a place called Scania. And we actually had, my whole entire company had to escort them to the northern Iraq in Kurdish country. The task provides security and safe route to their area of operation. We used all 27 of our Humvees in the company, and actually that night, all operations in Iraq that we know of on the main supply routes, the MSRs, ceased. Instead, no patrols were out, no convoys, other convoys were out. So that way we knew that if we came across anybody that they weren't supposed to be there. My entire company was tasked. Like I said, there's about 120, 130 soldiers, 27 up-armored Humvees, all with Mach 19 40mm automatic grenade launchers, M249 Bravo saws, and 50 caliber machine guns. Our doors weighed a couple hundred pounds. Glass that was 2 or 3 inches thick. And we started by driving south to Scania, which usually took, I think it was like 4 hours. From our area of operation, LSA Anaconda, Logistical Supply Area Anaconda. And we rendezvoused with quite a few members of the South Korean military. There's actually a large portion were special forces. And we went over the plan. There's other units. Our unit was the direct support unit. We were embedded within the convoy. And we took our Humvees and staggered them out throughout the convoy. And so basically we had to provide safe passage. And also, we provided safety at major intersections. We had a MSR Tampa, which is basically the highway that goes through Baghdad that we had to go through, and a lot of the other military elements, friendly military elements in the area, provided security as well. They provided static security while we were moving security. They provided tanks, Bradleys at every intersection. They had Overwatch. They had snipers. I actually put down my night vision goggles and I could see about a mile or two ahead of me, and littered on every rooftop was little infrared dots, little green lasers. When we went out at night, we had these little, they're about the size of a 9-volt battery, and you attach a 9-volt battery to it, and then you can make it blink a certain amount of times, so that way I can see my man at night if I put down my night vision, and when I see three blinks, okay, I know he's 3-3 Bravo. And other units, and not only that, but Overwatch, helicopters, UH-60s, Blackhawks, Kiowa Warriors, they would know, and AWACS are flying up way up with radio relay. They could see us as well from a mile up in the air with these little 9-volt battery size IR lights. As a result, it did take longer than expected because there was such a large South Korean element. We took a day off, actually, that morning. We started at night, at about 10 o'clock at night, and we made it 4 hours north. What usually takes 4 hours took all night. And at sunrise, between 5 and 6, we actually had to pull into my area of operation, LSA Anaconda, and we took a break there. Basically, we stayed there all day, and then when it started to get dark again, the rest of my unit actually took them like another 10 hours north up into Kurdish country. So it was successful. There was nobody injured. Nobody was shot. There wasn't one attempt on our convoy. And it was kind of neat that night, all operations in the Sunni Triangle pretty much ceased and supported our operations of bringing the South Korean Army and the South Korean Special Forces, on a 16-hour road trip. So I thought that was pretty neat. Question number 2, tell me about a time when you had too many things to do and had to prioritize. In 2008 in New Hampshire, where I am right now in this house, I have a background in construction. I went to school for it. And in 2008, we were able to get a home loan for building a home, and actually it was kind of a building loan. And what happened is we bought a custom modular, but we still needed somebody to clear the lot, put in the driveway, do the site work, do the foundation, frame up the foundation because it's a walk-in, plumbing, electrical, all that stuff. So I was acting general contractor for the building of my house, and it was difficult. There was a lot of things to do. You had to get You had to get all the correct permits. You had the building inspectors that come in for the banks to make sure that when they give you money, that you're spending the money on what you say you're spending it on, so you don't lose their money. So I had 5 building inspections, major building inspections from the bank while I was there, and I actually was able to schedule everything. With my history of building, I have a little black book that I built up of people that I'm comfortable working with, and I know different contractors, electrical, plumbing, foundation, and that I was very comfortable with. So I used those people, and I was able to schedule it, and it worked out pretty good. And I was actually able to have my the guy come in and put the forms up for the foundation the same within an hour of my guy who did my site work, my foundation. And he dug the hole for my foundation, and he also put in my septic. Well, within an hour of him finished digging the hole for my foundation, the concrete guy was there. The foundation guy was there putting the forms up. And I thought that was pretty cool. So the hardest part is you have to plan each step. Like I said, between the site work, the excavation, the foundation, framing, see if I'm missing anything, and the delivery of the house, actually. They kind of tried ripping me off. The deal was that when they deliver the house and button up the vinyl siding and some of the interior trim, that I would go to the bank and release the check to the I can't even remember the name of the home, but it was actually a horrible experience dealing with the people that actually built the custom modular. So they threatened to, I wouldn't go to the bank and release the money to them because they hadn't filled out their part of the obligation yet. So they actually threatened to put a lien against my property. And I just basically explained to them, I'm not stupid. You're not fulfilling your part of the contract. I'm not going to go to the bank until you finish what you say you're going to finish in the contract. And if you have a problem with that, I'm going to make 2 phone calls after I hang up with you. I'm going to call a lawyer, and I'm going to call the media, because they've actually been sued quite a few times, this company, which I found out later. So the next day, their site crew showed up, and they were done within, I think, 3 hours. And I did a walkthrough, and sure enough, everything was done. So it's amazing. I was able to light a little bit of a fire underneath their, yeah. So, and as a result of me planning each step and having the experience, the house was actually, from the time I actually excavated for the driveway and cleared the driveway, from the time I started excavation on the driveway and clearing the trees and bringing in the gravel to the time that we had our occupancy permit was only about 2 months. So, and that's everything: electrical, plumbing, sheetrock, insulation, everything. So that's pretty quick. And my house is about 1,700 square feet. So we have about 1,000 feet on the first floor and about 750 feet on the second floor. And as a result, like I said, the house was built quickly and occupancy permit was issued. But also the fact that I was able to act as a general contractor with the knowledge that I have saved we figured it was around $37,000 that we saved, which now is direct equity into our house. Excuse me. Number 5, give an example of a time that you showed initiative. Well, after 10 years of marriage, my wife and I had not taken any real vacations since our honeymoon. We went to Puerto Rico, St. Thomas, Tola, and it was awesome. But just life got to us, and work and the schedules and everything. So finally, for our 10-year anniversary, we went up north for the weekend and had a lot of fun. And we were talking one night after dinner, and I just said to her, I go, well, where would you want to go? And she told me Arizona. And she's never flown. She's afraid to fly. And so finally I just said, you know what? We need to go. So if you promise to fly, I will pay for the entire trip. And so she perked up to that. And the problem was we didn't have the money for it. So what I needed to do is I needed to find out how to make that extra money to fund the vacation. And as a result, what I did, well, not as a result, but so what I had to do is I went to work and I basically was given a free pass to work as much overtime as I want. They enjoyed me as a staff there, and they know I'm very effective with the kids where I work. And I was working between 70 and 90 hours a week for 4 months straight. And in that time, I was able to save up $6,000. And I had found out that it was going to cost around $6,000. I did all the research. I went on the computer. I looked at how much it would cost. Okay, to fly, what time of day, what not only what day you want to buy your tickets to fly, but also if you buy them at the end of the month on a Tuesday, it's the cheapest as opposed to buying them at the beginning of the month or months in advance. So I did that, and I was actually able to save a whole bunch of money on the flight. I was able to find a good hotel in Village of Oak Creek, which is just east of Sedona, and it was beautiful because we had a Bell Rock. I'm actually looking at the picture right over here. We had Bell Rock right outside our window, which was gorgeous, and I did a lot of research for things to do while we were there because we'd never been there. I had actually been there when I was 18 with my mother, but it was a college trip, and I was only there for about a day. So some of the things I had planned for us to do is we would do something big, and the next day have a day off, do something big, the next day have a day off. We went on I think it was a 5-hour horseback ride, sunset, in Flagstaff, which was pretty. We saw wild elk. We went in the Colorado River up by Glendam, I believe it was, and Horseshoe Bend, and we went rafting in the Colorado River. Saw petroglyphs, which was really neat. I got to do a cannonball off the raft into really cold water. And we also went, and this is actually my wife's favorite, is we rented Polaris Razor 900, which is a dune buggy, and we went riding in the desert, and she loved that. So okay, and as a result, basically we went to Arizona for 8 days, and it was amazing. With the research that I did on the computer, I figured I was actually able to save us about $10,000. It's amazing to see the price differences out there. In actuality, what we learned from one of the locals on the very first day that we got there is some places will actually give you a discount because if you shop around, different places tax you on the items at a different rate, from 7% up to 14%. So you can actually go into some places and barter and talk the price down to account for the taxes. And we did that quite a few times, and it actually worked out. And we actually loved it so much that we went back again the next year and still loved it. But that time we went and we didn't really plan anything. So what we did when we got there is we looked around and saw what was going on. And we went to the Grand Canyon, which was fun. Went to Flagstaff, walked around, it was fun. Went to Jerome, which is an old mining town on the side of the hill. And you could see all the way to Flagstaff. It was gorgeous. And some of the other things we did is actually we went to a couple of rodeos. We went to a local rodeo, which was fun in Payson, Arizona. And then we learned from a local that the PBR, Professional Bull Riders, was going to be in Prescott Valley the next day. So we went and we bought some tickets, and that was amazing. It was awesome. The size of those bulls just tossing people up in the air, and it was a good time. Nobody got hurt. So, and I believe that is the end to my mock interview, the revision of my mock interview for questions 1, 2, and 5, using the STAR method.